Keppel DC REIT bought 3 data centers in China. So let's do a deep dive into China and the data centers that they bought. And this is of course President Xi saying hello to all investors. Welcome to China. So this is a picture from the internet of how a data center looks like from the inside. So the first data center they bought wasn't very big. It was $130 million in size. 7-story, fully fitted in Guangdong. And then the leasehold expires in 2067, so like 45 years left, right? What's interesting is that it's the first of 6 buildings to be completed. So KDC REIT will have the right of first refusal. So quite a big sizable pipeline in the future if they intend to exercise the ROFR. And the seller is Bo Si, this new guy in China. Never heard of it actually. So this is the DPU illustration. It wasn't very surprising that there's accretion because last year the share price was very high, right? So you can see that the illustration was for placement of 27 million units at around 2.5. So they'll get the accretion of 2%, and NAV also went up, right? Because they issue shares above NAV. In the end, they managed to issue the price shares higher than illustration at 2.522. So back then the demand was very high, right? Last year, and they also overissued. So they issued 81 million new units. So to take advantage of the demand, which was the right thing, right? Because well, if the institutions love your units, they should issue more, right? It'll be quite easy to get the accretion with this kind of share price. So the second and third acquisitions are a bit more interesting, I guess, happening this year. So again, the terms are quite similar. Master lease, 15 years. The land expiry also same. The deal size also kind of the same, because the first one was 160 million, right? Second one was 144. Third one was 142. So the second one is kind of the same as the first one, right? The third one is more interesting because the completion date is only in 2023. So it's yet to be completed. So you can see that the Guangdong DC3 is only partially completed. So I think what is happening is that the KDC will make a forward purchase of this DC, and then Blue Sea will actually pay a coupon on the partial payment. And then once everything is completed, then the rest of the payment will be done. So this is the illustration of the DPU, which is what I was more interested in, because I think everybody will have noticed that the share price has corrected quite a lot for this year with the Fed hikes and stuff. But you can see that based on illustration, right, of 187.50, so a fair bit of difference from last year, right, when they issued at 252. So, but even at this price level, they can still get the accretion, which was very nice to see, right? I was wondering if there'll be more accretive acquisitions with the share price correcting quite significantly, but it still can be done. And what's also notable is that they said 92 million illustration, right, to be placed out. I am not sure when they will place out the issues though, the units though. I suspect it will be done closer to the date when DC3 is completed. So when the DC3 is near completion, then maybe they do a placement, right, to raise new monies. And you can see the NAV also accreted. What's more interesting, I think, is the forward plan. Because I was just googling around, right, and you can see Keppel data centers. So this is different from Keppel data center REIT, right? So this is the department within Keppel Group that does data centers. It's kind of like the sponsor of KDC REIT, right? Actually, the Keppel ecosystem as a group, they're actually going into China quite in a big way. So now they have 6 assets in China, right? 3 from KDC REIT, and they have another one, a very big one in Beijing actually, through the KDC Fund number 2. So they're gonna build a new greenfield data center, right? That means a development, right? And you can see this one is actually quite very big. The power capacity is 140 megawatts, so a very sizable one. And the floor space is also quite big, 1.5 million square feet. So this is the 4th one, and it's a new build, right? The 5th one is the one in Huizhou. So it's officially open already. And the sixth one is in Shanghai. This one will be done in 2023. So you can see that the stuff in Beijing, right? The big one of 140 megawatts of power capacity. So it's a you can fit the 5,700 high density racks. And you can see that the interest will come from the cloud service provider, right? So I'm not sure if this will be the hyperscalers, but it's an interesting asset, right? Quite a very big size. The one in Huizhou is also quite very big. It's a greenfield data center in Huizhou, and you can see that over here they say that it can host 6,000 high density racks, and is also meeting demands from guys in the cloud operators and stuff. So it's quite a big one also in Huizhou. And the sixth one, the one in Shanghai. This one is quite small though, not that big. It's just 3,000 racks. But I guess in Shanghai you cannot really find a kind of a space. I don't know. But it's the sixth one. So in total, the Keppel group has six data centers already. But I think the significance is that the pipeline for Keppel DC REIT in China looks quite assured, right? Because you have three more coming from the ROFR pipeline with the guy operator who sold the first three. So we have three more to be acquired, right? And then we have possibly three more, right, over here. And these are the big ones, right? The Beijing one will be 140 megawatts of power. So this is actually a very big one. And then two more over here. So in total, there'll be six more that might be acquired, right? If they can come to an agreement. So I think the pipeline for acquisitions is still quite robust. So it's a matter of whether or not the share price can hold up for the accretion to happen. So this is the artist impression of the guy in Huizhou, right? Quite interesting, quite nice looking. And you can see this is actually a colo data center in the Greater Bay Area, right? So you can see that they kind of host for hyperscale cloud companies as well. So this is quite interesting, right? Because there's quite a lack of hyperscalers data centers in the portfolios of Singapore data center REITs. So this will be quite a nice addition if they do it. I did a bit of googling to see where everything is in China, because it's a new market, right? So probably you should Google around. You can see this is the Guangdong province that they bought the stuff from, the first three data centers. And then the one in Huizhou is over here, right? So that's the one that Keppel, the parent, is building. So I mean, it's not very near, but it's not very far either. It's like what 200k, 200 click or something like that, 100 plus, 200 click, the kind of distance. Of course, you have the Shanghai and Beijing over, and that's way north, right? But you can see it's a kind of the Keppel group and ecosystem is building out data centers in China quite well. Quite a bit of synergies, right? If you think about it. But of course, we have also to think about the credit exposure, because now that you have Blue Sea, which is selling the data centers to Keppel DC REIT, and possibly three more to come, there will be a bit of exposure to this new guy. I try to see the current profile of the clients, but actually it's confidential. In the annual report, this is the information given, and they couldn't name everybody due to confidentiality purposes. But I guess for next year, it'll be interesting to see whether or not some information can be gleaned as to how much exposure by rental income this Blue Sea guy has to KDC REIT. And of course, in the future, the main thing is whether or not the KDC REIT share price, unit price can maintain its premium to book, so that more accretions can be made. So that's it for this video. Remember to like and subscribe.